In his farewell address, George Washington said that political parties may now and then answer popular ends. However, they are likely in the course of time to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men will be enabled to subvert the power of the people by usurping for themselves the reins of government, destroying afterwards the very engines which have lifted them to unjust dominion. In short, Washington warned how political parties would eventually become the tools to suppress the majority in favor of political bosses and radicals. Hi, I'm Mr. C, and today we will talk about how President Washington ended up being right. Most high school government classes talk about how the two-party system has led to a moderation of American politics. But if you look at American politics today, few would describe it as moderate. But how did we get here? Well, politics is about winning. In the past, the focus has been on appealing to the middle. Now, we see a clear shift from trying to bring the middle votes to your side and instead playing on the party's more fanatic members to ensure primary victories. Politicians don't need a majority of all Americans, just enough of their party to get to the final round. The vast majority of Americans do not think that former President Trump, for example, should remain in politics. However, 2/3 of the Republican Party want to see him back in office. This isn't only on the right. We see the same controlling faction within the Democrats. According to Pew Research, a plurality of Democrats identify as liberal or very liberal. They don't need the middle. If they want to win and to get to the final round to go up against the radical Republicans, they just need to win the primary and appeal to the far left. Additionally, we need to consider who votes in the primaries. Primaries traditionally don't see a whole lot of participation. In 2016, only 26 of eligible voters voted in the US presidential primaries. And let's think, who is more likely to go to the polls? A moderate suburban mother who's trying to make sure that her kids get to school on time? Or an extreme Facebook super poster who spends most of their time posting about fake news? One is invested to the point where it's become their entire life, which leads to more partisanship and worse candidates. As a result, when the general election comes around, we are stuck with a familiar choice between bad and worse. Yes, Washington was right. The wings of both parties have usurped the right to choose. We, the middle majority, do not have a voice. I know this is disheartening, but the first step in fighting back is realizing that there is a problem. I think the parties at this point are lost causes. The radicals already have a controlling portion of both of the parties. Instead, we need to look out for ourselves. It is time to mobilize and vote moderate, either through a third party or an independent. At first, we may not see a whole lot of success, but our influence will grow like a flower in spring. Thank you so much for coming, and have a wonderful day.